The most severe winter storm to strike Rhode Island in decades continued to unleash its force Monday, covering the state with a thick blanket of wind-driven snow, bringing regular life to a standstill and causing tens of thousands of power outages. Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee said a ban on all motor vehicle travel would remain in place into Tuesday. In Massachusetts, Governor Maura Healey declared a travel ban in Bristol, Plymouth, and Barnstable counties. It's not just plow drivers that McKee is worried about. He said first responders have had to contend with disabled vehicles on local roads and state highways. "You are putting people at risk, their safety at risk," McKee said Monday afternoon. "We want to make sure that message is heard loud and clear. The state police are going to be monitoring these violations. We'll fine you if you violate the travel ban." The snowfall totals reached historic proportions. Some communities pushed past 30 inches in places by mid-afternoon, with snow not expected to taper off until about 8 p.m. At 1 p.m., the National Weather Service recorded 32.8 inches of snow at T.F. Green International Airport in Warwick, which broke the record for the greatest single snowstorm on record, the NWS said in an alert. The previous record was 28.6 inches, set February 6-7, 1978, during the famed blizzard of '78. The NWS had issued a blizzard warning starting Sunday afternoon, lasting through Monday and into Tuesday for all of Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. Winds greater than 60 miles per hour contributed to power outages for more than 40,000 Rhode Island customers as of 5:30 p.m., according to Rhode Island Energy. National Grid reported more than 44,000 customers without power in Massachusetts, 1,500 of them in Bristol County. Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee declared a state of emergency on Sunday and enabled the activation of the National Guard as needed. "We're asking Rhode Islanders to take this storm seriously and stay home," McKee said in a statement. "This is an all-hands-on-deck response. Our state agencies have the resources and manpower they need to respond and keep Rhode Islanders safe." Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey also called a state of emergency. State government offices were closed Monday, as were schools and most businesses, as the storm brought the typical start of the work week to a standstill. Providence, Newport, and some other communities imposed parking bans. At T.F. Green International Airport, airlines have canceled all scheduled departing and arriving commercial flights at PVD through approximately 6:20 p.m. today, due to the significant winter storm impacting the region, according to spokesman Bill Fisher. Airlines may extend cancellations beyond that time, depending on weather conditions and system-wide operational considerations. Travelers should continue to monitor flight status directly with their airline before coming to the airport. The powerful storm made for the second big snowfall in Rhode Island this winter, the snowiest season in a number of years. It attracted comparisons to the blizzard of '78, which resulted in dozens of deaths and the stranding of hundreds of motorists, as most people were unaware of the severity of the approaching weather. The blizzard that hit Rhode Island with the intensity of a Category 2 hurricane on Monday, February 23rd, resulted in 2 fatalities, according to new figures from the Rhode Island Department of Health. Additionally, local hospitals saw 263 emergency department visits related to the storm, spokesman Joseph Wendelken said. RIDOH is still collecting data from local hospitals, so the number of ER visits linked to the storm will likely continue to grow, Wendelken said. The initial tally includes 119 slip and falls, 48 cardiac complaints due to shoveling, and 19 visits that were related to motor vehicle accidents, Wendelken said. Salve Regina University has identified one of the 2 storm-related fatalities as Joseph Boutros, a 21-year-old student. Boutros died of carbon monoxide poisoning on February 23 while attempting to charge his cell phone in his snow-covered car. The other individual whose death was considered a storm-related fatality has not been publicly identified. The cause of death was shoveling-related, Wendelken said. The blizzard of '26 was one for the record books, but now it's time to dig out. The travel ban will expire at noon, but officials are still urging people to stay home if possible. The Jamestown-Verrazano Bridge, the Mount Hope Bridge, the Newport Pell Bridge, and the Saconnet River Bridge will also reopen at noon when the travel ban lifts, according to the Rhode Island Turnpike and Bridge Authority. Rhode Island Energy has started restoration work, and under 20,000 customers are without power. Rhode Island Energy. Greg Cornett has said that power restoration could take up to 72 hours for some customers. Numerous public and private schools are closed throughout Rhode Island for Tuesday, February 23rd, as the state begins a multi-day effort to return to normal after a snowstorm that smashed single-storm snowfall records set by the blizzard of '78. Some colleges and universities across Rhode Island have canceled classes for a third straight day, while others have announced remote learning options. Here's what to know for Wednesday, February 25th. The University of Rhode Island has canceled all in-person classes across all campuses for Wednesday, February 25. Synchronous online classes will not be held. For asynchronous online courses, students should check. Likewise, the Community College of Rhode Island said all in-person classes, activities, and clinical placements are canceled for Wednesday. Brown University in Providence said classes scheduled for Wednesday should be held either remotely or in person at the discretion of the instructor. Faculty and instructors should communicate directly with students regarding the instructional format. Bryant University in Smithfield posted that the school will hold remote operations for all classes and administrative work on Wednesday. Students, faculty, and staff should check their emails for the latest announcement detailing campus operations. Rhode Island College in Providence will also hold classes remotely. The school said all classes will either meet remotely through Zoom or Teams from Wednesday, February 25th through Saturday, February 28th. Johnson and Wales University in Providence posted that the storm will close campus offices and cancel all in-person classes and labs from Monday, February 23rd to Thursday, February 26th, but that online and virtual classes will continue as scheduled. Roger Williams University in Bristol announced on social media that beginning Wednesday, classes will be held remotely as snow removal continues. Salve Regina University in Newport posted on its website that faculty will offer online classes on Wednesday, February 25th, and on-campus offices will move to remote operations. For more info, visit salve.edu/alert. RIPTA service will be back up and running on Wednesday, February 25, but the service will be limited by where the roads are clear and where travel is safe. Routes may be delayed, detoured, or modified due to narrowed streets and cleanup efforts, according to a press release from the organization. Riders should sign up for email alerts for news about route changes, or visit ripta.com/alerts. The release states, RIPTA will also begin clearing out bus stops across the state where it is safe to do so. 2 cross-country skiers took to Providence's West End streets during the tail end of the blizzard on February 23, skiing through the fresh powder. Ben Semis said he learned his lesson from the January storm, when he and his partner went stir-crazy and couldn't walk down Westminster Street for 3 weeks because of unplowed sidewalks, so he made sure to have his cross-country skis with him for this storm. I have to say, I was on top of a mountain in New Hampshire yesterday, and I was in snow not as deep as this here in the middle of the West End in Providence, so this is pretty stunning, Semis said. Semis was breaking the ground for his partner Molly Lafanowicz, who was able to get up to a fast clip quickly in the middle of the street, where a trail had already been broken. They were joined by other cross-country skiers, enjoying the 2 feet of powder on the city streets. My skis are a little bit sticky, but we'll put some wax on them tonight and be back out in the morning, Semis said. Providence's snow removal efforts are also progressing slowly because heavy-duty equipment is in short supply, Mayor Brett Smiley said in a video posted on Tuesday. The city uses more than 100 plows, but most of them are large pickup trucks, and when we get historic amounts of snow, they can't do the job alone, he explained. Smiley indicated that the cleanup requires larger and more powerful vehicles, like the front loaders used on construction sites. And there's only so much of that available. We've asked for help from the state. We've hired as many vendors as we can, he said. Warwick is facing the same challenge, Mayor Frank Picozzi said in a Facebook post. Our smaller vehicles just can't move this volume of snow, he wrote. Heavy equipment is being used to get initial passes into roads, and then the smaller vehicles can chip away at the edges. It's very time-consuming. Consequently, Warwick will not have trash pickup this week, and the city's parking ban will continue until Friday at 6 p.m., Picozzi said. Picozzi added that he does not have the authority to enact a travel ban within Warwick. "I wish the governor had extended one more day," he wrote. The Providence Police Department is urging drivers to stay off the road, saying that stuck and abandoned cars are causing problems and preventing the city from getting back to normal. A video that the department posted on Tuesday afternoon features drone footage of snow-covered cars that have come to a permanent stop in intersections and travel lanes. As you can see from the video, many vehicles have been abandoned throughout the city, Deputy Chief Tim O'Hara says in the video. "We're trying to get the streets cleared, and the abandoned vehicles are seriously impeding those efforts." O'Hara emphasized that city streets are still not completely safe to travel on, even though the statewide travel ban has been lifted. "Vehicles are still being abandoned because they're getting stuck in the snow," he said.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
The blizzard of 2026 had the magnitude of a Category 2 hurricane, according to Steve Chaosin, a forecaster for the Rhode Island Department of Transportation. To put that in perspective, Hurricane Bob was a Category 1 hurricane, said Chaosin, formerly a meteorologist with WPRI. For 48 years, the benchmark of the most powerful storm was the blizzard of 78, Chaosin said at a Tuesday morning press conference. That changed on Monday. For 2 or 3 hours on Monday, snow was falling at a rate of 3 to 5 inches an hour, Chaosin said. "That's like getting caught in a thunderstorm where you have heavy downpours where you can't see in front of you," he said. "This storm had that magnitude that I have never seen before, and I've been forecasting for 55 years here in Rhode Island." Blizzard conditions lasted for 10 hours, with winds gusting between 35 to 70 miles per hour. "There were incredible low visibilities that I've never seen before," Chaosin said. "The combination of warming oceans, a jet stream, and the cold air in places produced this record storm that we may not see again for quite some time," he said. Due to ongoing power outages, the South Kingstown Police Department has opened a shelter at Broad Rock Middle School for residents of South Kingstown, Narragansett, and North Kingstown. Transportation assistance is available for residents who may be experiencing unsafe living conditions due to prolonged loss of power or heat, the South Kingstown Police Department said in a press release. Those needing help can call the hotline at 4012-841-626 or email storm26@southkingstownry.gov. "We understand that many residents prefer to remain at home, but extended loss of heat and power can become dangerous, especially for seniors, children, and individuals with medical needs," Matthew C. Moynihan, Chief of Police and Director of Emergency Management for South Kingstown, said in a statement. "If you are without heat or power and conditions, please call the hotline and make arrangements to come to the shelter." South Kingstown officials are also encouraging residents to check on neighbors, especially older adults and those with medical needs. Meanwhile, snow flew in just about every direction Monday, as Maine's coastline felt the blast of a blizzard that rocked much of the Northeast, bringing wind gusts of over 50 miles per hour in some areas. The blizzard continued rattling street signs and bending trees Monday night, when snowfall totals from the National Weather Service office in Gray showed the disparity between coastal areas and inland, with South Portland receiving 6.5 inches as of 5 p.m., while Gray had 1.5 inches. Professional weather spotters measured 5.2 inches in Saco and 3.5 inches in Buxton as of about 7 p.m., and Westbrook had received 3.5 inches by 4:30 p.m. While the Portland Jetport had recorded 3.9 inches by 1 p.m., just 1.8 inches of snow were recorded by a spotter in northwestern Portland around 3:45 p.m. John Palmer, a meteorologist at the Weather Service office in Gray, said high winds during a blizzard make it difficult for weather spotters to take accurate measurements. Members of the public also submitted reports to the Gray office Monday night, including 6 inches in Pittston, 4 inches in Boothbay, 3.5 inches in Bath, North Windham and Waterville, 3 inches in Gorham, and 1.5 inches in Gardner and Fairfield. Blizzard conditions, defined by the Weather Service as at least 3 hours of 35 miles per hour plus wind gusts and less than a quarter mile of visibility, were recorded at an automated station at the Portland International Jetport between 9 a.m. and noon, while the automated station in Rockland came close. The gusts were only 1 mile per hour off from reaching the criteria, Palmer said. So we basically had a blizzard in and around Rockland, too.
Good afternoon, family.
The Weather Service's office in Gray projected southern Maine to receive another 1 to 3 inches of snow into Monday evening, according to an afternoon alert, while the Caribou office projected another 4 to 7 inches of snow in downeast Maine before the storm's departure. The impacts of the storm were far less inland thanks to the storm's trajectory, Palmer said, with little or no new snow in many areas. Early in the week, the Weather Service projected the storm would track far enough into the Atlantic Ocean to merely brush Maine's coast with some light snow, but forecasts changed over the weekend. This was a storm where the models were very undecided, pretty much to the last minute, Palmer said, later adding, with how strong it is, especially over Long Island and Massachusetts, these storms tend to be very difficult to tell how far north the high snowfall amounts reach. The wind along Maine's coast on Monday was strong enough to make many chilly pedestrians freeze mid-step, and it blew enough snow around to create whiteout conditions. Weather Service data as of Monday afternoon pegged the highest wind gust in Portland at 56 miles per hour. Gusts of 40 to 55 miles per hour were also recorded in Arundel, Augusta, Brunswick, Cape Elizabeth, Lewiston, and Rockland. But the highest gusts recorded as of Monday afternoon came in the Knox County town of Cryhaven at 63 miles per hour. Only maritime stations reported winds higher than that, including a 67 miles per hour gust off the coast of Kittery. As the storm bore down, a swell of town offices, school districts, and businesses from Kittery to Eastport closed or shortened their hours. Drivers were urged to only travel if they absolutely had to, and the speed limit on the Maine Turnpike was reduced to 45 miles per hour. Over 1,300 Central Maine Power customers were without power as of 5 p.m., including more than 600 in Lincoln County, 450 in York County, and 150 in Cumberland County. Portland officials defended the decision not to open the city's emergency warming shelter Monday, despite pressure from community organizations. Monday's forecast did not meet the temperature and precipitation thresholds used by the city to activate the warming shelter in the Riverside Industrial Park, according to city spokesperson Jessica Grondin. The threshold is met when the nighttime low is 15 degrees or below, or when snow accumulation is forecast to exceed 10 inches. Nonprofit organization Maine Needs urged supporters to call on city officials to open the shelter Monday, so people don't have to spend the night in these conditions. While Maine Needs acknowledged the existing thresholds, it said the shelter should also be open during a severe weather alert. Grondin said opening the shelter more often than planned is difficult due to staffing challenges, especially with short notice. While we are not able to activate the warming shelter tonight, we understand the interest in opening the shelter on more extreme weather nights that fall outside the existing thresholds, and will explore the ability to do this in the future, Grondin said. The shelter is scheduled to be open Tuesday night, when the overnight low is forecast to be 12 degrees. From many parts of Portland's peninsula, the display atop the time and temperature building was useless Monday, as the skyline was silhouetted by the storm. Only a few people bundled in snow gear scurried along Portland's powdered sidewalks Monday, while others sought refuge inside. Matt Giuliano, the manager at High Roller Lobster Company, said the restaurant has built a reputation for staying open during nor'easters like these, at least among the nearby hotel staff. While the restaurant had few customers Monday afternoon, Giuliano said most of High Roller's foot traffic came from guests of Old Port hotels. Meanwhile, Portland Beer Hub stayed open for what it dubbed an adult snow day, before deciding to close its doors early. Bartender Christopher Gatchell said the bar was desolate Monday, partly because of the slick sidewalks. But Gatchell said the business remained open in the hopes of being a reliable spot for customers during the snowstorm. By later Monday afternoon, though, staff made the decision to close early, fearing the sidewalks could be even more treacherous after dark. Out in the snow, Tori Hazelwood walked along the Eastern Prom with her dog Svein. As the snow blew around her, she remarked that Svein loves the chilly weather, but she didn't plan on keeping him out in it too long.